ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via. Oh vela ciao, vela ciao, vela ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire.
Conversations with Lockdownlevelup, day 3. It is the weekend. How are you, Dani? Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Not that it makes a difference right now what day it is.
Oh, for the weekend.
Yay. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm very good, thank you. I woke up 15 minutes ago, so 16 minutes ago, after a long, dreamy sleep. So we'll see what that says on the Whoop band.
I was going to say, check your Whoop band for your hours.
Well, hashtag Whoop if you want to sponsor us.
Hashtag paid ad.
Yeah, hashtag paid ad. So yeah, no, I have I've had a long sleep, but I've brought the A game. I've already helped Dani with her hip flexors. Did a little bit of virtual physio this morning, haven't I?
Tennis ball is on my shopping list.
Tennis balls. So,
yes.
So Dani, maybe give the listeners some context to that.
Right. So basically, after my great 2 days of my running streak hitting 5K, I've suffered an injury. So my hip flexors a bit damaged now. So Ali and I were just talking basically about how I could kind of relieve that pain. And he said that rolling on a tennis ball would help. So I'm going to now find me a tennis ball and spend my days rolling on it.
I'm not a qualified physio, so if it doesn't work,
no, you said it now.
From my previous experience. Yeah, Dani, that's obviously your 28-day challenge of keeping of running, and we talked about yesterday how what if 28 days can't happen? So maybe I cursed it.
I was thinking that.
So what are you going to do to try and keep leveling up with it? What should have been your thoughts with rather than letting that halt your progress and sod it, it's lockdown, chocolate, beer, what's this?
No, actually that's what I'm thinking now. I'm thinking, maybe I am just going to be a couch potato, like this is a sign. No, I'm kidding. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to, because obviously lockdown will end and I'll have to go back into the gym. So I don't want it to set me back longer than what it should. So I'm still going to go for my walk just because I think it's important to get out. But as far as running is concerned, I might just have to put that on hold. Or like I said yesterday, a run is still a run. So maybe even just 100 meters down to the shop or something. But the most important thing I'm going to do is make sure that I stretch it and spend a lot of time, if I'm not going to run, just stretching it so that I can get it back to feeling better. And also probably stretch before I run too, because I suck at stretching. I absolutely suck at stretching, which is bad, because a lot of people, they are, even in the industry themselves, like we tend to forget about mobility and flexibility and stretching and things like that, because we're so hyped just to get out there, and we think it's not important until we actually suffer an injury like this. We're like, oh, I should probably stretch now. So yeah, lesson learned from that.
I mean, the thing that, so we spoke about David Goggins, didn't we? And his story when he talks about going to the point where he almost was paralyzed from not stretching, and he stretches like 3 hours a day. And I'm a very tight person. I am Scottish, before anybody says anything, but I've had really shit mobility for my whole life, and I've spent no time stretching. I do a lot more now than I ever did, but still nowhere near what I should. But he explained it, why you need to stretch, because your muscle, when you're exercising, your muscles are contracting. So they're only ever going to get worse and worse and worse if you don't pull them back out.
Yeah.
So
part of the growth as well, it's massively like undermined by myself
Absolutely.
included. I'm not afraid to say that I kind of neglect stretching, but it's just one of those things I've noticed because I have a bad left leg, and that's why I don't squat, is because my knee on my left leg is not strong as well. But I noticed that I only stretch once I start feeling a pain, and that's something that I shouldn't be doing. So in saying that, at least I've learned something. So every cloud.
So there's only point in learning something if you do something with that learning.
Exactly.
So
that's deep.
So Dani, I'm going to put a challenge back on you, and it's something you can hold me accountable for, so I can do it as well. But maybe we should add in daily stretching.
How long?
3 hours, like David Goggins. We're going on in. You can't hurt me. 30 minutes.
30 minutes stretching.
You don't have to. You'll only be letting yourself down.
I'll have to try and fit that in between my busy days of cleaning the house and watching Netflix, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, no point in trying to level up if you're not going to try to level up.
Very true.
That doesn't even make sense. But so what I learned yesterday was I didn't have a routine. So I was on annual leave yesterday. So I am still working. I am not furloughed, which is different than last time. And I was thinking yesterday about routine, especially today being the weekend. I think if people are in lockdown, Monday to Friday they might still be working, and then the weekend comes and then they're off again without anything to really nobody's really got, like, if you've got family, you're not going to have to get up and get the kids to go to the swimming classes, or you're not got that football game that you were going to play at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. So we're going to lack some of that structure in our lives. I know it's the same also if you're on furlough, but also working from home, there's no structure. We were joking about me waking up at 7:58, and this is why it's important to have a routine. And then because I don't have far to commute, I had to roll out of one room and into another. And I'm at work. I'm like, hey, I'm at work. This is not work.
Traffic was a breeze today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but really important to have set routine, especially if you're going to grow as a person, and not just a morning routine, but an evening routine. And that doesn't have to be super early. If you want to wake up at 10 a.m. and go to bed at 1 a.m., that's fine. But I think being consistent with it is really important, especially where we've lost structure in our life.
I agree.
And if you normally play football at 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning, don't just not do anything at 11 o'clock. Swap it out. Like I'm saying about you, if you're not going to run, what are you swapping it with? As what upper body exercise is going to be doing. You're doing something in that time, because it's all too easy to go, couch potato it is, when you've got no purpose or structure to your day. As
well as having a routine is something that forms good habits as well. So something that if you wake up at the same time every day, then it will become a habit. And then every day, even on the weekend, you'll have that extra time as opposed to waking up at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. And then, there's that 4 hours in the day that you could have used, not saying you have to be working or anything, but there's 4 hours in that day that you could spend doing something else, but waking up at the same time for me every day, I find very useful. It's become quite a good habit.
You can put in reading time. You can, do your journal, especially if you're, because I was also thinking about the 28 days that you and I are probably going into this feeling in quite a good place. What if our listeners are going into this not maybe having ever started? You're looking at this thinking, yes, this is a great opportunity, but how, what's it going to do for me? And there's a whole load of theories about a number of times that you need to do something in in sequence. That's not the right word. But it's a number of times you have to do something over and over again. Consecutively, that's the word. To build a habit. And that's ranges between 21, 60, and 360. Depends.
I heard it was 67.
That's quite specific, but yeah, it is it's a period of time. However, you've got the opportunity to put at least 26 days, even if you've not started. You can put 26 days in, and I think that's where you start to form a habit. Having stop drinking alcohol. I've done 25 days now. This is where I'm now starting to think, well, okay, I don't. Whereas before it's like, no, I don't. You can't have a drink today. You can't have a drink. Well, now I'm starting to be a bit more like, no, I don't drink.
Yeah,
when I get
you're getting accustomed to it now. It's becoming a part of your identity now.
That's it. You're like writing the daily emails is something I now do every day. And I said I was approaching day 90. We're actually over 100 days. So
very impressive.
And it's just what I do now. And I write an email, and but it's part of my morning routine. And this is what I was saying is I've not stacked all the things that I do in the morning straight away. It started with like one thing. Starts with maybe waking up on time. I still find that difficult, getting up at the same time every day. Sometimes I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm pushing my luck, because I've got a poor sleep cycle, because I've got a poor bedtime routine. And it's not just about having, but you can't put it all in at once. If you're thinking, yes, Alistair's doing cold showers, I want to do that, just do that. You can't put a million things in at once until you've got that nailed.
It's kind of the same with weight loss, isn't it? When people start on a Monday, they start going to the gym straight away. Then they start, cutting their calories by 500 a day, and they're cutting out carbs, and they're trying to do everything at once. And eventually it becomes too much. So you have to start small and eventually build up the habits of everything else and focus on one thing. So it's like if I wanted to do my cold shower, I'm not going to do, it's like you say, it's just do the cold shower. And then if you give me another idea, I'm not going to say, okay, I want to take a cold shower and I'm going to do this as well. It's about doing the small things every day, and then you find and mold what works for you.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
And I spoke to somebody yesterday, and they made a really good point. And I might have listened to somebody. I've listened to so much. I've been listening to the Whoop podcast. I've been listening to James Smith's audiobook. Been speaking to friends. Been in coaching sessions. So somebody somewhere put some information in my ear yesterday. You already have a routine. So everybody's like, yes, I need a routine. No, you already have one. You might need to change and adapt that routine, but you already have a routine. So look at what that routine is.
Yeah, whether it's effective or not is another story.
But you already have a routine. So how can you maybe change or adapt that, or how can you throw something else into that mix? But make it the same. Get up at the same time.
I think everyone focuses on a morning routine as well, but what does your evening routine look like then?
And this was something I've been thinking about. I don't really have I go to bed when I fall asleep on the sofa. That to me signals bedtime, and that's an old habit that's built in and ingrained, and I've never really tried to change it. I think there's definitely room to put that in, because that's going to set up your morning routine.
It's not actually good for your sleep cycle as well, isn't it? Because your sleep will be disrupted from falling asleep on the sofa, waking up, and going to bed. Unless you just stay on the sofa and then you just sleep there the whole night.
No, I don't end up like lying out on the sofa. I sit like this. And then I go.
That's bad for your posture as well.
Oh, too right. Especially since it's posture is being 6'8". Posture is something I will have to be really considerate about as an older person, because I will start to. I'll be horizontal by the end of my life, bent over double.
You just be planking every time.
Yeah, that's it. So that guy, he holds a plank all day. Oh dear. So bedtime routine I think is really important, and it's not something I can't talk about it because I've not done it. But it's something I'm looking at, especially with my measuring my sleep as part of the next sort of long period of time. I want to look at how, because it's if you've read about why we sleep and about the cell repair and everything that goes on from sleeping, that even if that's just something I was to do over the 28 days, that would be a massive win to get that built in.
There's loads of things that you can do that can kind of set you up for your evening routine as well. So it's kind of like a wind down. For me, what I do is, first of all, I try to read before I sleep instead of watching TV or being on my phone. Just because it's got to do with the blue light and your circadian rhythms and things like that. Your brain is kind of still triggered in a way if you're still using technology. So there's just small things that you can do to trick the brain. And if you are like if you are on your phone or you're watching TV or on your laptop, then it's best to just turn your blue light filter on if you've got one. Or what I do is, like, on my phone, I've got a wind down time. So basically my screen turns gray. And that's when you know, all right, if I'm using my phone and it's gray, I probably shouldn't be on it too much, because it's telling me, listen, you've got to go to bed now. So I think there's small mini habits that you put in place at a time. See what works for you.
And I think that is a topic for another day. Habits.
I can go about that all day. I love habits.
So let's stick that in for another day. We have to keep. Me and Danny are having to think 28 days of content to keep you guys entertained and listening. We also need some more listeners. So if you haven't hit like, hit like. If you haven't hit share. Hit share. Please tell your friends. It's on Facebook all day. There's another couple of episodes you can listen to. Let us know what you think. Give us some content ideas. We'll talk about it. And happy Saturday. We will speak to you on Sunday morning.
Have a good weekend.
See ya.